Welcome to the presentation, The Formation of Malaysia, an overview. Today, we will explore the key historical events and milestones that lead to the creation of modern Malaysia. Let's have a look to the table of contents. We will begin with an introduction and background. Then we will explore the geopolitical strategies used to avoid communist threats and the journey to the independence for Sabah, Sarawak, Brunei, and Singapore, leading to the Malaysia Agreement of 1963. Next, we will discuss Singapore's inclusion in Malaysia and the subsequent developments. We will also cover economic strategies, including sharing economic benefits, resource management, and fiscal policies to protect the Bumi Putera community. Additionally, we will highlight efforts for national integration through the Racial Unity Consultative Committee and examine the Singapore referendum as a case study. Finally, we will conclude with reflections on Malaysia's formation. Let's start with Malaysia's geographic location. It's situated in the heart of Southeast Asia. Historically, Malaysia's roots are deep and diverse, having emerged as a federal constitutional monarchy from the British colonial possessions. Malaysia was formed in 1963. Several factors contributed to its formation. Geopolitically, Cold War dynamics and regional independence movements played a key role. Economically, the merger was driven by synergies and economic viability. Culturally, Malaysia's diverse social-cultural landscape influenced its establishment. The integrated regions that formed Malaysia in 1963 included Malaya, North Borneo, now called Sabah, Sarawak, and initially Singapore. The strategy goals of this integration were to contain communist influence, utilize economic synergies, manage ethnic differences, and create a resilient and economically viable national state.
Hello everyone, today I'm going to talk about how Malaysia protected itself from communist threat during the mid-20th century, especially during the Cold War. First, let's look at the alliances Malaysia formed. During this time, communism was spreading in nearby countries like Vietnam and Indonesia. To protect itself, Malaysia built strong relationships with Western countries, especially the United Kingdom and United States. These countries gave military and economic support, which helped strengthen Malaysia's security. Next, let's talk about the internal security measures. Malaysia continued using state security measures that worked well during the Malayan emergency. This was a time of guerrilla warfare against the Malayan National Liberation Army, the military wing of the Malayan Communist Party. Keeping up these security efforts helped maintain stability in the countries. Malaysia also focuses on socio-economic reforms. The government aims to reduce economic gaps among its people by improving the economy and making sure everyone got a fair share. They hope to make communism less appealing. These reforms help bring different ethnic communities into the national economy. All these strategies came together to form a holistic approach. Malaysia didn't just rely on military strength, they also used economic and social strategies to protect the country. This comprehensive plan not only safeguarded Malaysia's new statehood but also made its socio-political system stronger against outside threats.
Hello everyone, I'm XINTIAN today. I want to talk about why Sabah and Sarawak joined to Malaysian Federation. These areas are very rich in resources like timber and oil, which are very important for Malaysian economies. They also help control important areas, roads, which are key areas for trade and security. The agreement made in 1966, called the Malaysian Agreement, to help Sabah and Sarawak keep some power over their own matter, like immigration, education, and especially managing their resources. This means they can handle their own resources while still helping the whole country's economy. By adding Sabah and Sarawak, Malaysia has become stronger and more united. Let's keep working together for a better future.
Okay, next, we talk about Singapore inclusion and independence. Alright, initial agreement and white paper 1961. On August 23, 1961, Singapore Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew advocated for a merger with the Federation of Malaysia. The result was the white paper, an agreement that defined the responsibility of each party. The Federation of Malaysia would manage defense, foreign relations and security, while Singapore retained control over education and labor. This arrangement aimed to address the unique need of both regions and lay the foundation for a successful merger. On September 16, 1963, the Federation of Malaysia was officially formed, which included Malaysia, Singapore, Sabah, and Sarawak. The purpose of the merger was to create a stronger political economic entity to face regional threats and encounter communist expansion. For Singapore, joining Malaysia provided opportunities for economic growth and a more effective defense mechanism against regional threats. Strained relations and partitions, 1965. Despite initial optimism, relations between Malaysia and Singapore soon worsened due to the economic, political and racial tensions. A slowdown in industrial development and political clashes, especially between the Singapore People's Action Party and Malaysian Alliance Party, made the situation worse. On August 9, 1965, both parties agreed to separate from Malaysia, resulting in Singapore becoming an independent republic. This separation allowed Singapore to manage its economic and political needs independently. Next, let's talk about Brunei. Under the Sultan Omar Ali Saifuddin initially agreed to join Malaysia but later withdrew due to unmet demand for control over oil resources, financial autonomy and senior position in Royal Council. The Brunei Revolt of 1962, led by the Brunei People's Party, further complicated matter. The party opposed integration with Malaysia and instead advocated for a North Borneo state. The rebellion highlighted internal resistance and reinforced the Sultan's decision to maintain Brunei's independence. Geopolitical consolidations and regional stability. Okay, let's focus on these 5 key points. 1. Strategic decision. Malaysia leadership made key strategic choices to counter communist threats, which included forging alliance and strengthening military capabilities. These decisions were not just reactive but aimed to fostering national unity by bringing together various regions and ethnic groups under a single national identity. And then 2. Visionary move. The action taken were forward-thinking, aimed to ensure long-term stability and prosperity. Economic and political initiatives were designed to create resilient national capable of withstanding future challenges and fostering sustainable growth. 3. Navigation challenges. By successfully navigating complex geopolitical challenges, Malaysia secured its survival. The country built strong diplomatic ties and managed internal threats, promoting a unified nation identity that embraced its diverse population. 4. Integrating of Sabah and Sarawak. The incorporation of Sabah and Sarawak into Malaysia showcased the nation's ability to adapt and manage regional difference effectively. Despite the eventual separation of Singapore, Malaysia turned this into an opportunity to strengthen its government and regional stability. And lastly, foundation for future development. This effort lays a robust foundation for Malaysia's future. This established policies in infrastructure, supported ongoing economic and social development, ensuring stable and progressive environment for the country's growth.
2.0 Economic Strategies and Resource Sharing. Sharing economic benefits. Optimal utilization of rich natural resources in Sabah and Sarawak was crucial to the formation of Malaysia. This is because Sabah and Sarawak was known for vast timber reserves and growing oil and gas industries. This makes the states important economic assets for the entire federation. And in turn, it has a potential to improve the economic standing of the entire federation. Resource management and development. Strategic economic plans were developed to ensure equitable sharing of resource benefits across Malaysia. This involved creating a centralized economic framework that facilitated investment in infrastructure, which was necessary for the exploitation of transportation of resources, while also ensuring that local communities benefited from the economic growth.
Next, we talk about the economic strategies, namely fiscal policies and defending the rights of Bhumiputra community. The NEP, or New Economic Policy, established in 1971, aimed at two key objectives: poverty reduction and social reconstruction through pro-Bhumiputra affirmative actions. The Bhumiputra community includes Malays and other indigenous groups, and the NEP, New Economic Policy, sought to address historical economic disparities. The NEP's most well-known aspect is 30% Bhumiputra equity ownership. Originally, the NEP envisioned broader Bhumiputra economic partnership, but it became narrowly focused on equity ownership. The 30% target is empirically problematic due to data complexities, like including foreign ownership and excluding government ownership. Continual fixation on macro-equity ownership detracts from Bhumiputra enterprise development, especially for small and medium-sized enterprises. The Shared Prosperity Vision 2030, also known as SPV, intends to provide a decent standard of living for all Malaysians. It focuses on reconstructing Malaysia's economy from a low-skilled and manual, labor-intensive model to a knowledge-based economy. The draft SP30 acknowledges the NEP but also recognizes subsequent plans. While Bhumiputra have made progress in education and employment, equity holdings remain still below 30%.
Hello everyone, today I want to talk about the Racial Unity Consultative Committee, or GPPK. This committee was started in the earlier 1970s to help different ethnic groups in Malaysia to understand each other better and work together. The GPPK gave advice to the government on how to make sure the policies are fair and consider everyone's needs. Its main goal is to help everyone get along better and make sure all voices are heard in making national policies. Now I want to talk about what the Racial Unity Consultative Committee, or GPPK, does and the impact it has. The first one, what GPPK does. 1. Talks and workshop. GPPK organized many meetings and workshops to help people from different races talk to each other and understand each other better. 2. Policies advice. This suggests change to help make sure everyone is trained friendly and has the same opportunities. 3. Teaching. They run captain to teach everyone about the different cultures in Malaysia. The second one, I want to talk about impact of GPPK. 1. Good friends. GPPK has helped a lot by starting important conversations and making sure everyone is in good positions. 2. Challenges. It is thought to make everyone agree and get along properly, and it takes a long time to make a big change in how people think.
Separation of Singapore. The continuing unrest and the apparent failure to harmonize the deserved interests of Singapore with those of the broader Malaysian Federation eventually led to Singapore's separation in 1965. This separation was a dramatic turn of events, but it deemed necessary to maintain peace and stability in the region. It also provided important lessons for Malaysia about the complexities of integration regions with distinct ethnic and economic profiles.
Hello everyone, I'm Chelsea. There is growth. Malaysia faces many challenges, including those situations like the Singapore referendum. This event shows how hard it is to bring together areas with different cultures. These challenges taught Malaysia important lessons and shaped its social and economic path. Malaysia's earlier plans showed that it is important to understand and value the difference between countries and to work on bringing them together. These experiences will strongly influence Malaysia's future decisions and developments. At its inception, Malaysia formed alliances with Western countries to strengthen its independence and stability. Economically, Malaysia carefully used its natural resources and brought together areas like Sabah and Sarawak to make sure development was even throughout the country. For social strategies, Malaysia started in forth like the Racial Unity Consultative Committee, which was focused on building and societies with many cultures living together. All these strategies together help Malaysia become sustainable and rich.